Okay, so it does say live on our WebEx, and it does say live, but I don't. Okay, I think we got it. So excited. Okay, so Christine, would you mind double checking on YouTube to see if it's live?
Yeah.
And now's a good chance to let everyone know we have a YouTube channel. We're just that cool. So right now it's you can find it. It has a very long name, and we can't make the name on YouTube specific, but we have tinyurl/CB6 YouTube, I think, Christine. But we'll put it in the in an email around to the board. It's a good place to just review the meetings. So welcome everyone. This is the October Queens Community Board 6 general meeting. You're here, if you see yourself on the screen, you are a member of the board or someone that's been invited to present to the board. And if you don't see yourself on the screen, but you signed up on WebEx, you're here as an attendee, you can listen, but we will not be taking questions from the attendees. You're always welcome to email to the community board office. It's qn06@cb.nyc.gov. And we're always available to answer your concerns, whether about the community board meetings or anything in general. So my name is Alexa Weitzman. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the chair of the board. And we're so happy that you joined us, and great to see all the board members tonight as well. So we have a pretty, like a medium agenda, I would say. We'll see how it goes. And first up, as always, we have the public forum. We have 5 people coming to present tonight, and public speakers, if they're from organizations, have 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a long time. If you can keep it a little bit more condensed, that would be great. Our first up is Asia Badi, Director of Public Engagement from the New York State Independent Redistricting Commission. So have we found her in the, or them? Have we found them?
Just promoted them to panelists.
Okay. So we will be keeping time, just so you know, and we'll give you a 30-second warning, and we look forward to hearing what you have to say. So the floor is yours.
Thanks so much. And I was getting worried because I was an attendee, and I'm always a little worried. So thank you so much. I'm the Director of Public Engagement for the New York State Independent Redistricting Commission. And whatever I am telling you is on our website, so don't worry if I speak quickly, and I don't need all the 5 minutes. But I'm here to tell you, you may not have heard about the Independent Redistricting Commission. This is the first time the commission has come to fruition. We are a product of a 2014 ballot amendment that seeks to create a fair and open process to draw district lines for Congress, State Senate, and State Assembly. So those are the only districts that we are paying attention to. The commissioners, 4 are appointed by the Republicans legislature and 4 by the Democratic legislature. The 4 Democrats appoint an independent, and the 4 Republicans appointed independent. The 10 commissioners altogether have extensive experience on New York State communities, as well as voting rights. There's more about them and their bios on our website. They're tasked with several things. One is to submit draft plans to the public for comment on September 15th, which they did. And now we're in a public comment period, followed by where we will have 12 public hearings that are mandated. The city and the commissioners added 2 extra. So we'll have a total of 14 public hearings. Where the hearings are being held are mandated. So there is one in Queens, there'll be one in Brooklyn, there'll be one in Staten Island. We're starting in Buffalo next week on the 20th, and we'll go through ending in Suffolk and Nassau County on October 26th, right before Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, November 26th, right before Thanksgiving. The Queens meeting is the 17th of November. So I know, and I actually see some names that I know from who've given testimony before us. So I am sure that they will be there too, that are part of your board. But anyways, and then the final piece is that the final maps will be submitted to the legislature in early January. The commissioners were waiting for, while they were waiting for census data that usually gets released in April, it didn't get released until August. While they were waiting for that, they held a listening tour this summer in July and August. It was completely virtual. It was across the state. And we had over 500 people sign up to speak. Nearly 300 actually did speak at our listening tours. You can watch the YouTube videos, recordings on our website, our YouTube channel. More than 500 people submitted over 1,200 pages of written comment, which are under the submissions tab on our website. So there was an extensive public outreach beforehand, and these draft plans are simply the draft plans. We really want to hear if people like the plans, if they don't like the plans, what they would like to see and what they wouldn't like to. You can do so by clicking on participate on our website. You do have to register on the website to be able to submit those comments. You can go through the process, and if you're having trouble, just email me. And then I think that's really it. I just wanted to come let you all know about the process and really ask for your help in getting the word out. We really do want as much public comment as possible. Not everybody's comfortable speaking in a public hearing. They can send in a simple map or some written comments about what they would like to see. And our website has those draft plans. There's actually an interactive map that you can actually go and look at. That's it. I'm gonna pop into the I'll put it under hosts and presenters. I can give you our website if that's helpful.
I don't think we have
yeah.
the chat enabled right now, but
Not
please
to
send.
everybody, right? But I
Yeah,
think you can see it here. So I think it's
work.
right. Like it's I'm not used to WebEx either, and you have to flip it, which I learned. But we do have a one pager that I did send out. I don't know if Christine, if you'd like me to send it again, if you could share it with everybody. It has info, and it's a PDF, so you can share it with whomever you want, your neighborhood associations, your block associations, your tenant associations. Really do want folks to know about it.
Yeah, that'd be great. And if you send that back in, we can forward that to our members and post it on our social channels as well.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
Great. Thanks so much for being here. Up next, we have Erin Mcfadden from the David Prize. We find her?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think she's
yeah.
muted.
Okay. You can unmute yourself.
Okay. Hi.
There you
Sorry. Also not used to WebEx. I am here to talk very briefly about the David Prize, which is an annual open call for New Yorkers with a big vision to make the city better. We award 5 New Yorkers every year $200,000, no strings attached, to support their work, and hopefully work that includes a big vision to make New York better. Our open call begins next Tuesday, October 19th, which is when we'll be announcing the second group of winners. The prize has only existed for a couple years, which is part of why I am here, spreading the word. We don't get nearly enough applications from Queens, considering how diverse it is and how many incredible people we know live there. And we would really love to see more applications from Queens. Things that we look for in the prize is work that's deeply rooted in New York, individuals who are really visionary about what their idea of what the city could look like 5, 10, even 20 years from now. The funding, as I said, is no strings attached, which means that we encourage people to dream really, really big. We're also interested in folks who have a true need for unrestricted funding. We don't take board seats. We don't ask for reporting. It's not a grant, it's a prize, which means that once you get it, we trust you. It's trust-based philanthropy, and we encourage people to go forth, and hopefully it enables really incredible individuals to do something that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. Our website is thedavidprize.org, and that is where our application is, and will open next week. Nominations are open on a rolling basis, and if any of you have any questions about the prize, you can absolutely email our team at info@thedavidprize.org. I've also shared our flyer and one pager with Community Board 6, and I believe that they're going to be sharing it in a newsletter soon. And yeah, we would really can't wait to hear from all of you out in Queens. Please, if you know anybody who sounds like the person who has a big idea and just needs like a catalyst to get it going, we'd love to hear from them. Please nominate them. Please tell us about them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erin, for being here to tell us about it, and definitely get that into the office, and we'll post it everywhere because we definitely want Queens to be represented. So we agree with you
Yes.
there.
Love to see it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Just an aside, Mark, when you logged back in, you became host because you're the other, like Alexa. So can you please make me host? You'll be co-host then. What? Okay. Yep. You could just make me host and then you'll be co-host. You could just hover over my name and then right click and it will happen. Okay, thank you. A little housekeeping. Up next, we have Eric Arnhem from the Forest Hills Green Team. Was he promoted?
Yes, he should be a panelist now.
Okay. Erin, I believe you should be able to speak. You might need to unmute yourself. Nope. Okay. Well, let's see. Yeah, you were promoted, so we'll just circle back to you. And do we have Chris Wong on the line from Lost Battalion Hall? Chris Wong?
Yes, Chris is now panelist as well.
Hello?
Yes. Who is this, Chris or Erin? Chris?
This is Chris.
Okay, great. You have the floor. Go ahead.
Oh,
Thanks for being
awesome.
here.
Thank you. Hi, so my name is Chris Wong. I am the Deputy Center Manager at Lost Battalion Hall. We are part of the Parks Recreation Centers. We're located on 9329 Queens Boulevard. So it's right by the Burger King on Queens Boulevard. So for those of you that don't know and that live around the area, we have fully opened back up with few restrictions, but not anything too crazy. We are open. Right now we are promoting a 1-year free membership if you register by December 31st. So anytime before December 31st, you come in. All you have to do is show your full vaccination card status. You have to be good up to 2 weeks of full vaccination, and just have your ID, and we will make you a membership. And that membership card is free for up to 1 year if you register before December 31st. We also have opened up some programs. So we do have a top time program that is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 o'clock to 12:30. They're for children that are 8 months to 3 years old. And then on Saturday nights, we opened a program for the teens from 4 to 8 p.m. from 12 years old to 18 years old. We are offering different sports every weekend. We are doing art workshops. So every week will be a different program going on during that time. With our building being open, we are offering different sport classes right now to all ages. So we have a lot of adult programming for sports such as pickleball, basketball, badminton, and table tennis. All our information is online, so please feel free to go to the park's website and just take a look at what we have offered.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. If you have any flyers that you want us to send to the membership, please send them to the office. But thanks for being here and telling us a little bit about your programming.
No problem.
So I do see Eric Arnhem here on my screen. Are you able to speak, Eric? Oh, there you are. Go ahead.
I'm oh boy, I think I got it to work. Finally. Okay, sorry about that. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I can hear you.
Thank you for your patience. And yeah, WebEx is new to me. I'm so used to Zoom or Jitsi or some of the others. I couldn't get the video to go on. But anyway, yes, my name is Eric Arnhem. I'm a member of the Forest Hills Green Team. A little bit about myself. I was born in Brooklyn. I moved to Forest Hills about 35 years ago. I wanted to live between the airports because of all the business travel I do. And of course, the subway to Manhattan, the Whitestone Bridge, the LIE, you know all about it. You all live locally. And I might be dating myself, but one of my fondest memories of growing up in Brooklyn was going to the World's Fair and having my first Belgian waffle. I don't know if any of you remember that. Speaking of food, one of the major activities that the Forest Hills Green Team has pursued this year is to restart the composting of food scraps here in Forest Hills through a partnership with the Queens Botanical Gardens. Every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., we set up a tent in McDonald Park and we collect food scraps from people visiting the farmers market. We started with one big can, but quickly we had to go to two because they all filled up. Last Sunday, we had over 200 people come by to drop off food scraps. This Sunday, we will be giving out free small bags of processed compost for people to use in their own gardens. And I wanted to suggest to all of you that if you want to start collecting food scraps yourself at home, you should call 311 and request a brown bin from the city. We think that's the only way to get curbside collections going locally, is to demonstrate a major need in this neighborhood, which of course you will do if you call 311 and ask for a brown bin. The Sunday after that, October 24th, we are planning a volunteer recognition event in the park at the compost site to acknowledge the hard work of all our volunteers. The awards will be given out by none other than our Democratic candidate for City Council, Lynn Schulman. And that brings me to another major activity of the Green Team, local politics. We are not your typical charity group prohibited from engaging in partisan politics by our tax status. Rather, we are actively campaigning for Lynn Schulman this year, and last year, many of
Eric, you
Yes.
might not be, but we are strictly prohibited to do any politicking or endorsing on at our meeting. So you can tell
Okay.
us that you do it, but please don't campaign.
Okay, I'm not campaigning. We worked for Costa the year before, and we are actively campaigning now for some ballot measures that will be on the ballot this year. On Yellowstone Boulevard, under the railroad bridge next to the police station, we continue to plant flowers and shrubs in an effort to beautify an otherwise blighted area with a lot of pedestrian traffic. Last month, we rescued some plants from Stuyvesant Cove Park in the city and replanted them there. Soon we will be planting some daffodil bulbs we recently acquired, as well as more shrubs. Finally, we have reached out to a number of local colleges in an attempt to recruit an intern to help us with our social media, to also organize our membership database, and to coordinate with other environmental groups to promote legislation to address climate change. If anyone has any suggestions, please contact us at fhgtinc@gmail.com, and you can also connect with us through our website, fhgt.org, or through our Facebook page. Our next meeting is going to be virtual on Zoom this Monday night, October 18th at 6 p.m. Thank you for your attention.
6 p.m.
Thank you for being here. If you have anything that you want us to send to the board, you can either send it directly or send it to Mark, and he will do it. Because I know
Thank you.
he's a member of the Green Team as well. So, okay, fabulous. So that is it for the public comment section. I see that Captain Kappelman is here, so I want to provide the opportunity for the captain to speak if you would like. I think you're mute. Wait a minute. Are you muted? No, it says that you, Is it on my end? Does anyone hear the captain?
Oh, now it looks like he's okay.
Oh.
Captain, try speaking now. No. I mean, I'm seeing that it's green, the microphone, so it should be working.
Yeah, we'll give it another moment.
I also saw the community affairs guys there. I'm not sure if they're still there.
I see him.
Let's see, who else is here? Oh, Officer DeSantis, let's see. Captain Kappelman, is it working on your end? Yeah, I don't, honestly, this WebEx, the city is not looking for my feedback, but I could be a failing grade. If they were asking, I would say no, thank you. Please bring us back. to
Yes.
So it does, I mean, on my end, you're now unmuted. Yeah, I'm not.
You can go out and come back.
Yeah, do you want, Frank is suggesting maybe that you log out and log back in, if that's not too much trouble. We can try that, and then, because Mark, did you figure out how to make me host?
No.
Okay,
You're listed
well,
as co-host.
we're doing our best here. Okay, sorry about that, Captain Kappelman. Hopefully you'll go out, you'll come back in, and it'll work well. In the meantime, I'm just going to read one public comment that actually came into our office but was collected into the spam folder for last month's meeting. We put it into the minutes for last meeting because we do accept public comments through the end of the week. So I'm just going to read it now, just so you know when we get to the minutes portion, it's been added. It's from Ari Feldman. My name is Ari Feldman, and I'm a parent of 2 children, one who is school age. I'm writing to express my concern about the safety of the schools in our community. As a parent of a kindergartner, I was shocked to find out that my child would not have testing in her class at all this year. Despite the fact that COVID positivity rate for 5 to 12-year-olds was the highest of any age group, almost double that of adults, my daughter and her peers will not be tested because testing starts at 1st grade. The protocols that have been set for this year are designed with last year's variant in mind. The Delta variant has a hospitalization rate for 5 to 17-year-olds that is almost as high as the rest of the population, 10 times higher at the start of school than it was this same time last year. And yet the mayor insists on continuing to loosen testing practices in schools. While I appreciate that the unions convinced him to start testing weekly instead of bi-weekly, at the same time, he essentially made contact tracing non-existent. The rule now is that if a student had a mask on and was at least 3 feet away, they do not have to quarantine. They say this is in alignment with CDC recommendations, but the CDC maintains that a person should quarantine if they were within 6 feet, regardless of vaccine status or mask habit. Teachers cannot be expected to remember whether every single student consistently wore their masks and were at least 3 feet away. What many may not realize is that limiting the quarantine rules also limits the information we receive. Not being required to quarantine means that you're not a suspected contact. If a person is not a suspected contact, not get called. That means that for my child, please mute yourself if I'm getting some feedback. If a person is not a suspected contact, they will not get a call. That means that for my child, not only will there be not random testing, we will not be alerted of a confirmed positive case in my daughter's classroom. I can't even get her tested out of a precaution because I won't be informed. It seems that the mayor is out to make himself look good rather than ensure the safety of our children. With fewer students traced, there will be fewer tested and lower case numbers, so he can tell everyone that those victory concerts were not inappropriately timed for a spike in cases because the numbers are low. I'll read the next paragraph, but I mean the next line in the next paragraph, but it's all included in the minutes. I know that the community board has direct power to intervene, but I wanted to present this information to the community for everyone's awareness. So there is one more paragraph, but I don't know if I'm being timed, but I feel like that felt like 3 minutes. And our minutes are, once they're approved, they go on our website. So if anyone's watching and they want to read the whole thing, they can go on the website and read the whole thing. Captain Kappelman, you are back. Oh, it's not. I mean, is there something we can do on our end, Christine? Do you think? Okay.
He's unmuted, so it seems like maybe a setting on his computer. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
is there, maybe there's like an input setting on your microphone? But if you are not Captain Kappelman, please mute yourselves because there's a lot of you unmuted. So please mute yourself. Only Captain Kappelman should be unmuted right now, and me because I'm filling space with talking. So, I mean, we'll give it a couple more minutes. I know the captain's time is important and WebEx is not cooperative, but if we were moving forward in the agenda, I think he just popped off and we'll pop back in again. So we would be doing minutes. There's one more besides the addition of that in the minutes that I just wanted to let you know about. There's one more change in the minutes, which is that Jack Medina was marked absent in error. So everyone has received the minutes.
Yes, your question. Mhm.
Michael Cohen, you are unmuted, so I'm muting you. Everyone received the minutes and looked it through. With those two changes, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
Aye.
Second.
Okay, you can't both make a motion and second yourself, but so Howie, you got the motion. Who is seconding?
I am.
I'll second it.
Who is that?
Latrice, I'll second it.
Okay, great. I didn't see the word. Okay, there, I see. I have so many boxes I can't see. Great, Latrice second. So everyone can now unmute themselves. This is the moment where you can all say all in favor of approving the minutes as written.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and does anyone not approve the minutes as written? Okay, great. The minutes are approved. Captain Kappelman.
Okay,
Third time charm.
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Captain.
Hey,
Good evening,
Okay.
everyone. I'm so sorry about that. I'm working from my my home computer. So I've never used WebEx before. This is a first for me. I apologize. I'm going to be real brief because I know I've already taken enough of your time. But just real quick, we do have an upcoming police exam. It's going to be December 15th, 2021. And we're doing a real drive for recruitment. Obviously, we have some large classes of retirement coming up in the future. And obviously, the department's always looking to diversify and reflect the members of the community. So we're doing our best to get as many people signed up. So if you know anybody that is interested, even if you don't like, maybe you don't like the police department or you're not happy with certain things or how they run, the best way to change that is to become part of the police department. And you can go to nypdrecruit.com for more information, or you could also go to www.nyc.gov/OASYS. The exam, as I said, is on December 15th, and the enrollment period is up to November 3rd. It's free exam. So, if you know any young folks that want to have a career in law enforcement, it really is a very good job. There's a lot of career opportunities in it. So, I recommend it. But I'll just go real quick into overall crime, for the year to date. So far, we are up versus last year slightly. We're up about 5%. It equates to about 23 crimes or half a crime per week. What's really driving us this year is grand larcenies. And when you drill down into the grand larcenies, it's really shoplifting that's really causing us a problem. Obviously last year, a lot of these stores in the malls were closed during COVID, during the lockdown. And then when they started to open up, they were limiting the amount of people in the store. This year, obviously, they've been open up pretty much all year, and we've really seen a spike in those grand larcenies. I'm happy to report that our robberies are down significantly this year, 30%. Felony assaults are up this year a little bit, primarily because of domestic related incidents. But we're pretty much right where we are on average for a year. Last year was an extremely low year for us with felony assaults. And then recently, grand larceny auto has seen a little bit of a spike, and that's really over the last 6 weeks or so. And what we can attribute that to is a combination of things. We've seen a lot of motorcycles being stolen off the street, and then about 40% of the cars that were stolen in the confines of the 112th precinct this year were stolen. Either they were left running while unattended, or there was a key in the car. So that kind of plays into the car breaks. We get a lot of door handle pullers in the area where they'll just pull on door handles until they find one that's open, And if there's a spare key or a key fob in there, they'll just hit the button or turn, get in the car and they'll drive away. So that kind of leads to, someone who's just looking for to steal from your car, and now they're stealing your car. So that's one of the things I like to, anytime I get a chance to speak, is really just drill that home to people. Obviously, a car is not a safe place to leave your valuables. Please remove all your property, roll up the windows, lock the doors, park in a well-lit area if you can. If, I don't want to take any more time, but if anybody has any quick question, Alexa, or if anybody has anything.
I see Latrice has her hand raised.
Good evening, Captain. I just have a quick question regarding the shoplifting.
Sure.
Is there a breakdown of which specific items are being shoplifted, whether it's food or clothing or toiletries? Is there a breakdown of that, and like any particular neighborhood or location?
Okay, so as far as products, it's generally not food. It's things that could be resold. Laundry detergent, it's a big one, believe it or not. So the place where we're seeing our larcenies is going to be Rego 1 and Rego 2, right? That's Rego 1 is 9605 Queens Boulevard. So Burlington Coat Factory, Marshalls, Old Navy, Bed Bath and Beyond, pretty much those stores. And then at Rego 2 is at TJ Maxx, 6101 Junction Boulevard. And then the remainder of our shoplifting is really along Queens Boulevard in close proximity to our transit facilities. And it's CVS locations. We have 3 CVS locations along Queens Boulevard. And we also have Target right on Austin Street. Those tend to be our highest hit locations. Occasionally we do see people steal snacks, Gatorade, food, stuff like that, nuts. But for the most part, it's they're taking things that could be resold. So items like makeup, laundry detergent, most recently Red Bull is beer, stuff like that. So they'll steal it, run into the subway, take the train to wherever they got to go. We do have some local shoplifters that we've arrested frequently, and we have another one that's been causing us some problems. And we know who he is. We just have to locate him. But primarily, it's anything that could be resold and to a fencing location, most likely.
Okay, just a quick follow-up. Thank you for that breakdown. So I just want clarity. So they're not, these thieves are not going after gadgets, say like iPhones or anything like that. They're not.
But we are seeing iPhones get taken, because we do have a lot of cellular phones, but recently we haven't had too many. There's been a lot of Apple Watches from some of those stores, the T-Mobiles, the Verizon stores. We did have an AT&T store broken into last week where there were several tablets stolen. So we are seeing electronic devices, but on a day-to-day consistent basis, it's the mall, it's the big box pharmacies and Target.
Okay. Thank you, Captain.
No problem.
Great, thanks Latrice, and thanks Captain Kappelman. If we have one more quick question, and if not, we'll let the captain go. And Captain, I know in the past you had given us kind of those stats that if you can send them to the office, that would be great. We can include them in our minutes and also send them around to our board members.
Will do. It's all it's all available online as well, all that information. But we will send you. They're about a week or two behind, so we will get that to you.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, and thanks for bearing with the technology. And
I apologize again. I'm so sorry.
No. It's, believe me, I get it. I get it. I've been there. Okay. Have a great night. Thanks for being
Good
here.
night. Thanks, everyone. Night.
Okay, so we're a little out of order here, but I guess we're doing the chair's report because we did the minutes. Okay, so I guess I'll just do a little station identification, but this is the Queens Community Board 6 October meeting. You're either watching here on WebEx and you see yourself on the screen if you're a board member, or if you've signed up to be an attendee, you're listening, but you can't really interact, or you're watching live on our new YouTube. Either way, you can always follow up by emailing questions to the board office at qn06@cb.nyc.gov. And thanks for being here. First up on my chair's report is that yesterday was Gail Gordon's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Gail.
And yes, it's at moments like this that it's really a bummer that we're not together.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and happy birthday. And it's so good to see your face. And I think if we did sing happy birthday, it would be so
Mine was 2 weeks ago, if you like to know. That's good.
Happy birthday to you, Howard.
Howie.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to all of the October birthdays.
Thank you.
And to so that was first on my list. And probably most important. So happy birthday, Gail. And honestly, like our last meeting was on September 23rd. It's just about 3 weeks ago. And I've been really kind of offline a lot of that time. I had a death in my family, and I was really not around, but it's a really great opportunity to just hold up the executive committee members and the office staff who really had my back and really were able to, as they do even when I'm around a lot of the time, just get us through what needed to be done. And so thank you to everyone. And tonight, a little later, we're going to be doing the expense and capital budget requests. That's a massive undertaking. That's going to be a public hearing, and we'll be going through that process. And I just want to briefly, I'll probably do it again later, but just thank Heather and Frank for just holding on to that work as we went through, and all the committee chairs who have been putting in work, and the committee members, and really just the board as a whole, because it's really a big culmination. And also, I just want to thank Peter, who attended the borough board meeting on my behalf. There was the vote for the text amendment, the Open Streets text amendment that we heard from the DOT and last month. We voted for it, but the final vote was actually 6 yes and 7 no. So the borough board's vote was no. So that's just, interesting to me. That meeting is up on the borough president's YouTube page if you want to watch that conversation as well. But thank you, Peter, for being there in my absence. And that's really it. We're now, we had a little bit of a later start because we moved our September meeting 2 weeks later, but really we're getting back to work. And so I want all the board members to really think about what you want to do and what you want to bring to the table in terms of your activities on the board and your participation and your ideas and collaboration, because we're pedal to the metal, we're ready to get the work done. And I know all of you joined the board because you're passionate about improving the community, and I'm just really excited to see and hear from you what you're excited about doing on this board. So think about that. And then just that's really it for me. So thank you again to all the board members, and thank you to Frank and Christine and Maria and Barbara. And with that, I will pass it over to Frank right now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Alexa. Good evening, everybody. Culmination tonight is it. If you all remember when we did the bylaws and we did that whole thing, it took close to a year, if not a little bit more. And we've been working on the capital, I should say, Heather, Mark, everybody, Bruce, I mean, all the chairs. It's over 6 months, I think, since we started. I think Heather will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been a long time putting this together. It's not an easy task, but tonight is the culmination of it. I'm excited about it. Every chair literally had something to add or subtract, and that's what we're about. So we listen to everybody, and for years we had like the top 10. Heather will remind everybody we're strictly advisory. We don't have a checkbook that we're influencing the city council or electeds with, but we certainly have a soapbox that we can yell at and scream at some people with regard to some of these items. And they're all one more important than the other. So to me, it doesn't matter if they're 1 or 21, they're all super important. The only thing I have on my list for everybody, planning and zoning has been rather quiet, but it'll pick up, and I had said that by the end of the year. And lo and behold, the other day we received certification, I think it was October 4th or 5th, with regard to 9881 Queens Boulevard, which is the old Triathlon, Ornaton, Tower Diner spot. So because we're just certified, we have a certain amount of time. It has to be done by the middle of December. So there will be a public hearing, there will be a committee, sorry, and then a public hearing. Sorry, John, forgot that for a second. With regard to 9881 Queens Boulevard, to go through what the developer has come back with regard to some of the items that Pramit and his committee asked. So if you're interested, I believe that meeting is on the 3rd of November, the day after Election Day. So that'll be sent out to everybody, and Pramit, I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more. But that's it in a nutshell for me. Capital expenses next. It's a project that has to be, I have a clock on that. We've got to submit it within a certain amount of time. And I'm happy we're going through with this. So I'm going to turn it, we now begin our public hearing with regard to the, this is fiscal year 23, by the way, not tomorrow, not next year, fiscal year 23. So I'm going to turn it over to Heather. If that's okay, Alexa, or what do you want to pick up? Okay, Heather, it's all yours.
Can we do attendance?
Actually, before I just
Sorry.
want to, well, I mean, I guess I said it. I just want to be clear, like all of the, well, Heather, you're going to give a little background on the process, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So, and you're co-host, so you should be able to share your screen. And
We do attendance?
sure.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Great.
Thanks. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna call your name if I didn't see you. And if you're here, just unmute yourself and let me know you're here. Miriam Burfus, Alejandra Houston, Oded.
Christine, I see Odette as a guest. Is there a way that we could promote him?
Yeah, you just right click his name and make him a panelist.
So can I do that?
Yeah. Jack Medina, I'll come
I
back to
got
Oded.
Here, present, thank you.
Hi, okay. Raphael, Teresa Simmons, Robert Tamiev, Irina Tamieva, and that's it. Okay.
Okay, great. So with that, I pass it over to the Vice Chair of Finance and Budget, Heather Dimitriadis.
Thank you. I'm just trying to start to share my screen. My computer's a little slow going. So just bear with me a moment here. Okay. If somebody can confirm that you can see the slides on my screen, I would appreciate it.
Yes.
I can
Sorry.
see the slideshow.
Okay, great. Okay, so just to give some background, the priorities that we're going to vote on this evening basically give city planning and all of our electeds in the city a picture of what our district specifically needs, not just presently, but forward thinking. And the work that I have seen come out of our committees, your committees, is very strong. It shows a real attention to what our present needs are, but it also takes that look ahead, which I think is really important. And I really commend all of you for doing that. Just understand that these are what we are expressing to the city. We are telling them that this is what we believe needs funded. We are advisory. So part of the reason that sometimes some of these projects take long is because the city isn't prioritizing this, because there are other needs that they're seeing maybe from a different lens. So just understand that we're persistent. I mean, Frank has been banging the drum on Rigo Park for some time, so we don't lose hope. So I just wanted to explain that tonight as we come in to do our work, especially for folks who are new to this process. So I just wanted to go through a few things. First of all, to ask a question, when we get into that portion of the evening, I'm going to ask that you do the raise hand function. This helps us keep track and ensure that we haven't missed someone, because we don't want to do that. We want to try to keep our comments and questions as brief as possible to leave space and room for as many people to ask their questions and express their perspectives. And then if the chairs or the executive committee have questions, we're going to ask that you hold them until we have been able to answer all of the members' questions. the reason we're doing that is because the chairs and executive committee have had separate meetings where we've deliberated, where we've had prolonged discussions, we've had email exchanges, whereas the members have not had as much opportunity. So we will get to those questions. We just want to prioritize the members' questions first that have not been in those meetings. To explain how we're going to go through it, we're going to start with the capital budget priorities. We're going to walk through them. We're going to discuss them, see if there's any questions, and then we will vote on those priorities. Then we will do the expense. We will do the presentation again, same discussion with questions, and then we will vote on the final list. Just to give you an idea of how we got here, the committee started each committee started collaborating in probably late winter, early spring of 2021, where you started coming up with ideas, things that you believe would service our community well, whether it be the Social Services, Aging and Disabilities Committee, or whether it be Transportation and Transit. You all met and came up with those priorities. Then we discussed them, fine-tuned them, and then got them to the place where then we moved into late spring, early summer, where the chairs met and we took the ranking that the committees did on those priorities as far as what those committees saw as their top and their bottom, and we looked at those priorities, and then the chairs over the summer ranked those priorities. Then late summer, early fall, we met again to review those priorities to see if anything had shifted and changed, to see if some of those priorities had already been funded, or if circumstances such as Ida, because I know that's going to come up tonight, gives us pause and thought to sort of elevate other priorities that may have been lower on the list that may have a bigger sense of urgency than they did in January. And then tonight we'll get to the big part, where the whole board will get to review these, and then we will vote on them. Understanding throughout each of these steps, each of you had an opportunity, whether you're new to the board or you've been with the board, to touch these priorities, to have discussions about them. And we're hoping that this more deliberative process will help us be able to better articulate in more detail our priorities. And our hope is that this will help accelerate this process within the meeting, because having sat through several meetings, I think some of us would understand that sometimes it's been a bit painful. And so, because we've had a lot of things that maybe weren't clear, so we're hoping that this will help speed things up. Okay, so I want to first talk through the priorities for capital. And each of you were sent a list prior to this meeting. When we sent the list out, there's great detail for the sake of presentations, because you just can't fit everything on a slide. I have kind of abbreviated them, so if you need further detail, if you're like, what is she talking about, refer back to the sheet. So for capital budget priorities, and I divided them up between top 10 and under 10, because we know the top 10 is what's going to get the attention. Those are the ones who have the highest likelihood of getting implemented into our district and how we function. So the first priority is elevator installation for the subways, specifically with a focus on 63rd Drive. Number 2 priority is supportive housing facilities. That's the brick and mortar portion. Maintenance and improvement, sewers, that did move up in the list from our previous work that we did earlier in the year. Pedestrian safety and traffic calming. Reconstruction of streets is number 5. 6 is the purchase of equipment to improve park maintenance. This is a piece of equipment that we share with the neighboring community board, that if we could have our own, we could actually keep our parks cleaner. Next is ADA accessibility for all libraries in our district. 8th is the preservation of a softball and baseball field at Horace Harding Park. There was some work going there, and we want to focus on the preservation of that specific field. 9th is senior affordable housing, and 10th is the Rego Park Library. The 11 through 21, which are our final, we have 21 capital projects, would be repair and reconstruct pedestrian ramps and curbs, 12, completion of all bike lane projects in district. Just keep in mind, the Queens Boulevard project is not the only project within district. We have some additional projects, some of them that help get riders into Flushing Meadow Park safely. Next is the full conversion of public school water fountains to water bottle refill stations. Next would be the creation of a permanent Regal Park Library Annex. The hope would be to put a library on the other portion towards 108th Street. The next would be the full ADA accessibility in public schools. Next would also be ADA compliance at the Long Island Railroad. 17, solar panels at all public schools. 18, complete the installation of security cameras in subway stations. 19, repair and provide new street lights. And then 20 and 21 are both sound abatement projects. The first is for Jackie Robinson, and the next is for the LIE. Now, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that we can start the discussion portion, so that we can, and I'll go back in and share my screen again when we need to get to the expense priorities. So I've stopped sharing. So I would like it if you could, if you have questions, concerns, that you raise your hand. I see Anicia Ion. Anicia, if you could unmute yourself. Oh, also,
Yes.
We're trying to keep this to 7 minutes if possible, but we shall see. Go ahead, Anicia.
Okay, I just want a suggestion that ranking number 3, the request of the fixing of the sewers, to be moved to number 1. The reason is what happened with Ida is being losses of a lot of people. Just in my complex, 20 apartments completely lost. People are still homeless. They cannot come back to the house. And there was 350 cars completely lost. We cannot let this happen. Climate changing is just in our door, and this is getting worse. So I think the city and DEP should try to make this a priority to fix the sewer system in Queens. Thank you.
So Anicia, just to clarify, you're making a request that we take the sewer priority and actually make it our number 1 priority, because I believe right now it's our
Yes.
number 3.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, let's see who's next. I have.
It's Dave. It's Anicia,
Okay,
then David, then Kevin, and then Martha. I'll keep track for you, Heather.
Yeah, David, we're gonna have we'll do members, and then since you're on the executive committee, we'll tag you up once we've exhausted the members, if that's okay.
Okay. So next is Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee.
Heather and Anicia. Yeah, I second the request to make it number 1.
Okay. Up next is Martha.
Well, before we do that, so I need a parliamentarian to help me here.
So for interpreting what Anicia said as a motion that has now been seconded by Kevin, then there's a motion on the floor. You have the option of asking if there's anyone who wants specifically to speak. We've already now had 2 people in favor, so you might want to see if anyone wants to speak against that. If there is no one, then you can move to a vote on just moving that from 3 to 1, and everything naturally drops down.
Can you just remind us what is 1, 2, 3? So what would be moving from 1 to 2, and what would be moving from 2 to 3?
Certainly. Number 1 is the installation of elevators in the subway, specifically 63rd Drive, and supportive housing is number 2. So that would make sewers number 1, installation of elevators at subways number 2, and then supportive housing would be number 3.
Okay.
So is there anyone, and you can take yourself off mute, is there anyone that is opposed to moving the sewers to the number 1 spot?
So I see Latrice's physical hand up, and I see Martha's virtual hand up. I don't know if Martha, your hand was up from before, but I don't know if you're also prepared to speak against that. So can you just unmute yourself and clarify, and then I'll go to Latrice. Martha?
My hand was up.
Prior. Okay.
Okay.
Latrice?
Oh, no, she could, if her hand was up first, I'll let her speak. I can wait.
I don't think it was about this. I think it was up prior. She wanted to bring up a separate issue.
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, to piggyback on what Kevin and Anicia said, I just say switch up priorities 3 and 1. Leave number 2 where it is, but just move the sewers thing up to number 1, and then move the elevator at the subway station down to 3. So just switch 1 and 3 out, but keep 2 where it is.
Okay.
Okay, that's a different motion, though. I think the motion on the floor was, and tell me if I'm wrong, Peter.
If
Please, you're the
that's
lawyer.
friendly, Anicia made the original motion. If Anicia thinks that that's a friendly amendment, she's okay with doing it that way. then
I'm
that would be-
okay. I'm okay with that.
So that now becomes the new motion.
And Elizabeth Newton has her hand up as well.
Thank
you. I just want to make sure, because I understand what Anicia is saying about what happened with Ida and the sewage, but I think that supportive housing is also extremely important. And I feel that when I compare it to the sewer and to the elevators, I personally think I would put supportive housing as number 1. But I can compromise. I will negotiate. If we can keep supportive housing at least at 2, then I would be okay with that. But knocking it down to 3, I'm not okay with that. It's very, very important. Supportive housing is usually for people that suffer from mental illnesses, the homeless, and it's services that these people need, our population of these people need. So it's very important to me. So, and I think to a lot of people. So that I don't want that to be number 3 compared to elevators and the sewage. It's just, we're talking about human beings here.
Okay,
That's
so
my
you're
position.
opposed to the motion.
Oh, no, and to
I'm
clarify,
opposed. No, go ahead, Peter.
I apologize, ladies, but to clarify, actually, with Latrice had proposed exactly that same thing. Anicia said that's okay. So that acted as an amendment. So actually, you, Anicia, Latrice, you're all on the same page now. So the motion before us now would be sewers, supportive housing, elevators.
Okay, that's fine.
So we do have a lot of people that raise their hands, and it's very hard in this virtual world to know why people's hands are raised right now. But I did see Pat and Michael's hands go up when we were talking about this. So if there's something very brief before we go to a vote about this, then I'll go to Pat first.
All right, thank you. I understand supportive housing is very important, but as a disabled person, I would like to be able to use the subway rather than having to take a bus up to 71st and Continental only to find the elevator is out, and then not having to ask people to help them carry my 14-pound rollator down steps. The buses are too crowded to get on. That elevator is incredibly important. We're talking about people being able to go places, to make doctor's appointments, to be able to just enjoy themselves. So I understand about the sewers, it's necessary. I understand about supportive housing. So personally, I would like to see the elevators at number 2. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Pat. And then Michael, and then I think we'll go to a vote. Michael?
Yes, Madam Chair, just point of order. I think we should first entertain a motion to accept whether we accept.
Oh, you just paused, or not paused, but froze. Is it frozen for anyone else?
Yeah, or at least I can't hear him.
I think it was like a entertaining. Okay, so now he has a little sign, like caution sign. Is that everyone seeing that, or is it just me?
Yeah, his screen is frozen on my end.
So I think it was to entertain accepting the motion. And I don't know what to say about that.
We can come back to him if you want.
Alexa, this
was
is
someone-
Martha. I never got a chance to say anything.
Because I thought I asked you if you wanted to say something about this. I'm sorry. You said that your hand was up from before when we were just general, but of course, if it's about this, for sure.
Well, it was just in support of the sewers. And the reason being is this is a big situation. A lot of the homeowners, a lot of the tenants did not have flood insurance because the flood insurance was not allowed to be purchased. We were under the impression that the sewer backup insurance, which we purchased, was supposed to help us. I just got declined as a homeowner, telling me, even though I had sewer backup and I purchased it and I've been paying into this for 20 years, that it's not going to count because the sewer backup was actually caused by a flood. And this situation now leaves homeowners, tenants, renters completely vulnerable. If the sewers aren't fixed, you're going to have more homeless people because it's a bad situation.
For sure. Everyone should be muted except for the person speaking because I think there is some crosstalk. Martha, I'm sorry I didn't call on you before.
This is Michael.
Yes, Michael, I will come back to you. I just want to finish my apology to Martha. Sorry, I thought that you're talking about a different thing, but everyone will have their chance to weigh in if they think it's important when we vote. So we're going to close the conversation after I talk to Michael in favor of this because it seems like a lot of people are speaking in favor and some opposed. Michael, you had a point of order.
Sorry, I don't know what happened, but just a point of order. I think we should first take a vote on whether we accept the priority list as is. And if the majority accepts as is, as presented by the committees, then it should move. Otherwise, we'll be here all night if we try to reprioritize on an individual basis. So I'd first like to entertain a motion to accept the budget list as presented by the committees.
Actually, I have to raise a point of order. There's a motion on the floor that's been seconded, so that has to be resolved before we progress to another motion.
And I mean, from
Gotta address the motion first.
Okay, so just for clarity, this is always how we've done it. We haven't done it like we presented at the draft priorities are not voted on until the end of the discussion. And perhaps it is not the most streamlined process, but we're getting better and better, if you would believe it. So, you know, joining in 2021, it's great because a few years ago, it did take all night. So, that said, thank you, Michael, for the input, but there is a motion on the floor. So what we will do is, Heather, I will take a vote now on changing priority 3 to 1 and 1 to 3. So Heather, can you just remind us again the new order? So we are voting on a new order of number 1 being the sewers, number 2 being supportive housing, and number 3 being elevators at 63rd Drive, correct? Great.
Yes.
That's correct.
I'm gonna
that's
I'm gonna
correct.
go down right now, and you're gonna say yes to that order or no to that order. So know where you are in the alphabet and be prepared to unmute yourself and speak. Michael.
Nay.
Anicia.
Yes.
Kavish.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
Howie.
Yes.
Heidi.
Yes, it's extremely important. The sewers
Sheridan.
backup is terrible.
Okay. Sheridan.
Yes.
Alex.
Yes.
Latrice.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
Keith.
Yes.
Ethan. I knew it, he left. Gail.
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Oded.
Yes. From Odette.
Great. Prameet.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
Renee.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Pat.
Could you just read the motion very quickly for me again, please?
yes, the number 1 would be sewers. It's not the right language, but sewers. Number 2 would be supportive housing, and number 3 would be elevators at 63rd Drive.
Yes, under protest.
Elizabeth,
Yes, yes, yes.
Tanya. Tanya? She's here, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Great. Okay. Shari,
Yes.
Gladys,
Yes.
David,
Yes, but reserve the right to question the order in the, about number 3. But yes to this motion.
yes. Herb,
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
Is Irina here? Because she was going to come late. I don't see her yet. Okay. Martha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Alexa, yes. Joan,
Yes.
Ed Wong,
Yes.
Daniel Yukubov.
Yes.
Great. That's how it's done, board members. That was great. I mean, we can really condense the discussion part. We need to really work on that for the next point that's brought up. But we did it, we made a change, and we worked together. Back to Heather.
Do we, question about the order? Michael had put up the next order, which was to accept the list as is. So if we want to entertain that, I can read through the list.
I'm not willing to do that. That's not the way we've done it in the past. But I know that there are other people that have questions about other items, so we should entertain those now. So Martha, your hand is still up. Did you have something else, or should I put it down? No. Pat Morgan, your hand is still up. Should I put it down? Pat, I'm putting your hand down because I believe it's from before. David Schneier, I think you did have something.
Please.
If everybody else is finished, I'll wait.
It does seem like no one else has their hand up, so if it's okay with Heather, I think now is
perfectly.
opportune
This
time.
is how it should work. Yep, David, got the floor.
Okay, so I have a question about moving up housing for the elderly and lowering housing for supportive housing. I'm not against supportive housing for mental health consumers. Studies show communities don't mind supportive housing as long as it's small scale. It also shows that residents are more likely to be integrated into the neighborhood. I think many of us have seen group homes that are solely designated and it's stigmatizing. People who live there don't like it. I worked for 4 years in supported housing, which is more independent. We did not get one landlord to accept our program. We need supportive housing. However, we have one of the largest elderly populations in this community, mostly on fixed incomes. We know how expensive this area is. The Parkway Hospital for senior housing, that fell through. I think we could do more good for more people by having subsidized housing for seniors as well as supportive housing, but lower on the list for supportive housing. So I make a motion to move up affordable housing for seniors and move down supportive housing. Thank you.
David, can you be specific as to what number you would move it to and what would move to where? Because we need something concrete.
Well, I had on my printout, it was number 2, and affordable housing for the elderly was number 9 on the printout. I know it's moved a little.
Correct. No,
Right.
it's still that way, David. So what you have is actually accurate. Supportive housing is presently 2, and the senior affordable housing is number 9.
So I would move affordable housing to number 4, and for seniors to number 4, and supportive housing up to number 6, the funding of purchase of Gator for use at CB6 Park. So I would move affordable housing for the elderly to 4, and supportive housing.
Hold on, Miriam.
Down to 6. I welcome any comments. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Okay, so just to be clear, David, affordable housing you want to be number 4, and you want supportive housing to be which number again?
I would move it up actually to number 6.
But you would
Okay.
move,
What's number 2?
yeah, so that, I mean, right now it's 2. So are you saying remove it from 2 and put it up to 6 and then everything else would move forward? Or,
Yeah, I would do it that way. I would move up affordable housing where supportive housing is now and flip it. I would flip it, make it simple.
so you would switch
so-
2 and,
so-
sorry.
Just to be clear, no, it's okay, Alexa, because
I
we're both
can't-
trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So you want supportive housing to now be number 9, and you want affordable housing to be number 2.
What I would have affordable housing to number 2 and supportive housing to number 6. That's what I would request.
Okay, so now what's
Peter?
number 9?
It just moved down.
What would move down?
So, okay, so,
Everything after 6 would move down. So 8 becomes 9, 7 becomes 8. Old 6 becomes new 7.
Okay, so affordable housing will be number 2. Supportive housing, then your proposal is to be number 6. Do we have anyone have any discussion on this? I see.
Well, you need a
can
second.
we take-
I haven't heard a second yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard a second. Do we have a second on this?
Yeah, I second it. Herb.
Who's that?
Herb.
Herb. Thank you, Herb. Okay, so then discussion, I have, if we could do Peter and then Elizabeth. Those are the two hands I.
Elizabeth's hand was
First?
before mine.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
listen, I just want to say that I have Miriam on the phone. She's participating at this meeting, but for some reason, Alexa, I don't think you can hear her.
yeah,
So
no,
she's
I mean-
called me like 5 times already.
okay, she should stop calling you and she should just watch it on YouTube and she's going to be marked absent because we've had ample time for her to train and to really get on. You know, so you should be free from using your phone right now to attend to the meeting. She can feel free to watch the meeting on YouTube.
Okay.
But at this point, people need to know how to log on and participate. So thank you for helping her through that, Elizabeth. And I'm sorry, Miriam. We've sent out instructions, but
Okay. All right, so
Elizabeth, did you
Alexa
have
is saying,
anything to add on this particular motion?
Yeah, and I intended to if I'm next.
Sure. And then we have Keith and then Jean.
2 points I just want to make. One is a bit more holistic, is right. So we're not actually spending real money. So really the sort of the prize in this process is getting a priority into the top 10 that really demonstrates to the city and the city agencies that this is a very important process for us. So in some sense, it's almost less about what is currently ranked 1 through 10 than what's actually ranked through 11 through 25. Do we really feel like one of those actually need to come up? Secondly, is, honestly, David's point is absolutely right in the sense that we have a lot of need for senior housing in this district, but actually that's something that gets tended to a lot. Every time that Councilmember Kozlowicz's office, for instance, meets with a developer, that is the #1 priority. Most of the mandatory inclusionary housing programs that have been part of our most recent developments were all geared towards seniors or had a large senior focused component to it. So that is a population that rightfully, but already gets a lot of attention in this district. The current item for supportive housing is one that historically before now has not had an overt support from the board, which I think is what makes it so important to put it in #2. Housing for the elderly is already in the top 10, so it's kind of already crossed that first most important threshold. But putting a call for supportive housing, something that's new, but which has a very real need, because we absolutely have a need for folks, our neighbors with mental health issues and housing issues that this could address. And so I would vote against the motion and keep the current list.
yeah,
Thank you.
no,
So we have Keith, Jean, and Tanya. And Elizabeth, when you had your hand up, was it just about Miriam or did you have a comment on this as well?
So I just want to say that I agree with Peter, so that's my position. So, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay, great. So Keith, Jean, Tanya, keep it brief. And after Tanya, we're gonna hold a vote. If we have a second, right? Okay. So Keith, Jean, Tanya, you're up.
Okay, great, thanks. So I just want to make a few comments. And number one, I'm glad to see supportive housing on the list. I'm glad to see it's new. I understand that senior housing is also new. I personally support supportive housing remaining as it is. And number two, it's incredibly important for not only the city, but the district. I think the key to affordable housing is across multiple different facets, supportive housing, affordable housing, and senior housing. That being said, I appreciate Peter's context that you put forward. And also, I would also consider maybe moving affordable housing for the elderly to one of the top 5. I think affordable housing writ large, especially for seniors, is incredibly important. There's a dearth of senior housing, affordable senior housing in the city writ large. I don't see a lot of developments happening. So understood that numbers 1 through 10 represent the key priorities for the district. But if we are going to be restacking things, I would move senior housing up to the top 5, but keep supportive housing at number 2. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then we have Jean and then Tanya.
I'm just trying to figure out that parks has always been low on the list. Usually we don't even make the list. And I'm just concerned about being moved down in the list since we've been fighting to get up each time we come to these votes. I understand the housing and I understand the dilemma, but I am concerned about parks being moved down another slot. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Jean. Tanya.
Hi, I'll keep it brief. I support David's motion only because what's happening in New York City is that a lot of seniors are what I call super seniors. There is a slow, steady slide into poverty. And even though it does appear that there's a focus on senior housing, the homeless budget is bigger. It's a lot bigger and available. And I think a lot of seniors, it's just not being reported the dire straits that they are in, particularly since there is a pandemic. So I support what David is saying.
Okay, thanks, Tanya. So let's just recap. Peter, do you have to speak again?
I just wanted to propose a potential amendment that might be a compromise if it was favorable to David. That compromise would be to move item number 5, reconstruct streets, which is basically ensuring that there's repaving, which is part of their budget often annually anyway, and move elderly housing for seniors to item number 5. This would get it within the top 5, as Keith had suggested. It would raise its priority. It would leave parks a new priority where it is for today. And perhaps if David accepted that as a compromise, as a favorable amendment, that's something I could vote for.
So you're proposing, just to confirm, to switch reconstruct streets with affordable housing for the elderly?
Correct.
Okay, David, is that friendly amendment favorable to you?
I appreciate that, but to me, the affordable housing for seniors who are on fixed incomes is a greater priority. I'm not denying the need for supportive housing, but on a larger scale, I think we need more housing for seniors. So that's why I'm not really concerned so much with the order, just that affordable housing for the elderly is a bigger priority than supportive housing. I support supportive housing apartments, not buildings. We need senior citizen apartment buildings. So that I'm not really concerned so much.
Okay,
yeah.
So let's just go over what the vote on the floor is right now. David, can you do that, or Heather?
Yeah, affordable housing would move into the number. He is proposing that affordable housing move to number 2, and supportive housing move to number 6, and then everything would slide accordingly.
What about if can I make a friendly, am I allowed to do that as chair? I don't believe I am.
To move it to number 5?
I think we need to go to a vote. In my opinion, we keep trying to amend this, And I think we're going to keep
Yeah.
circling and circling and circling.
I would make the motion to have affordable housing for seniors, number 2, supportive housing, number 5.
Okay. Can I just point of information? Peter, I just thought you proposed an amendment to David's amendment. He did not accept it as friendly.
Correct.
So how does that work?
Then it's just off the floor, I think.
I'm
It's on
I'm
the board.
withdrawing it. It's
Yeah.
not on the motion. It's not on
Yeah,
it.
Kevin,
I
Kevin
understand.
raised his hand.
David's
Let's just,
I
Yeah.
second
Okay.
I second David's motion.
great, thank you, Kevin. So now we are
I'm
voting on,
Alexa, I'm sorry. David made one motion that was seconded. That was number 2 as affordable, and then supportive housing is number 6. That was seconded, and we never had a vote. Then it got revised
okay,
that he would do
vote.
affordable housing as number 2, and then affordable supportive housing as number 5. So I think, Peter, you can tell me if I'm crazy, possible, but I think we have to vote on the first one before we can hop to the second one, right?
Yeah, technically, I mean, you can't just, but I mean, he
He can change it, and it was, I mean,
I think we can,
let's
it's his motion.
let's do quickly a hand vote for the First Amendment. Right? And then because like if we go through roll call for every change, I think we will be here all night.
We could use the raise hand function.
Peter can make a friendly amendment to make it, affordable housing for the elderly,
Someone's
number
telling
2.
me that he can withdraw the amendment.
But it's not doing that.
Are you
Sorry, he can withdraw the motion.
Yes, he can withdraw the motion.
So, we're all
And then
learning.
he can make a new motion. So
Okay.
that would be the procedural way to do it.
Yeah.
So David, you withdraw your original motion, yes?
Right, and I think to
You just
satisfy,
say it yourself, David.
so to put affordable housing for the elderly, number 2, supportive housing, number 5. That is my motion.
Can you just say that you withdraw the amendment because you haven't said
I
that yet.
withdraw the amendment. I withdraw
Okay.
the amendment. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for everyone helping us through this.
Should we make a motion now? How does this work?
Please. Go ahead.
I make a motion to move up affordable housing to number 2 and to move supportive housing to number 5. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Kevin raised his hand.
I second.
Fabulous. We're going to now vote. No more discussion.
Alexa,
Yeah.
it's Christine. I'm just trying to make sense of all this. 1 second. So if the motion is, so reconstruct streets, number 5 is now moving to number 9, is that correct?
No.
No,
So
it will slide down.
So it will affordable housing for the elderly will go to number 2, and then
supportive housing becomes number
goes to
5 and everything else moves down the list.
Yes.
So then reconstruct streets becomes number 6 and so on.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So let me just say that again before we vote. So what we are voting on right now, the motion on the floor is right now, priority number 9, affordable housing for the elderly, will go up to number 2, which is right now supportive housing. Supportive housing will go to number 5, stay at number 5, and then everything existing distal to number 5 will be pushed down. Okay, great. We're going to start at the top. Michael.
Nay.
Anicia.
Yes.
Kavish.
Yes.
Peter.
No.
Howie.
No.
Heidi.
Yes.
Sheridan. What? Sheridan?
I said no. Sorry.
Oh, you said no, sorry. Alex.
No.
Latrice.
No.
John.
No.
Heather.
No.
Keith.
No.
Ethan is not here. Gail.
No.
Brendan.
No.
Bruce.
No.
Oded.
No.
Prameet.
No.
Mark.
No.
Ralph.
Yes.
Jonathan.
No.
Kevin.
No.
Pat,
No.
Raphael's not here. Elizabeth,
No.
Tanya,
Yes.
Shari. Shari?
Oh, no.
Gladys,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jean,
No,
Teresa is not here. Robert is not here. Irina is not here. Martha,
Yes.
Sue,
No.
Alexa, no. Joan,
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes. Yes.
Daniel.
No.
Okay, I think the noes have it, so we are staying with the, some people just raised their hand. Jean, well, let me just say that the motion
no,
doesn't.
no,
So.
no, it's supposed to be down.
What, Jean?
Okay.
What?
Come on, no, I'm not raising my hand. I'm trying to get it to go down.
Okay, sorry. So the motion does not pass, so the order stays the same, but Peter and John have raised their hands, so.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, I would like to make a motion that would move the housing for seniors from 9 to 5, and then move everything back down. So basically, it would, in a sense, be the reverse of what then, instead of having the supportive housing for elderly 2 and the regular supportive housing 5, supportive housing would remain 2, but then the supporting housing for the elderly would get raised from 9 to 5. And I make that motion.
Great, is there a second?
Second.
Yes.
Who was that seconded?
Mark.
Mark,
A
okay.
lot of people.
Does anyone, I think we're just gonna move to a vote unless, okay, so Peter, do you have something to say on this? You're muted. Kevin?
No, I support it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Peter?
I was just also going to support. We're good.
Okay, we're gonna take from the top. Michael, so what we are voting on is just flip-flopping. Affordable housing for the elderly is gonna go up to number 5, which will push everything down. So reconstruct streets would be 6 and so forth. Michael Arcadi.
I'm sorry.
No.
John, correct me if I'm wrong. I think John proposed that you switch the position. So reconstruct goes
Thank
to
you.
9 and housing goes to 5.
Here's people. I have 2, but I guess they're not working. So yes, that is correct. We're switching. So reconstruct streets would be 9. Affordable housing would be 5. Everything else would stay totally fine. Totally the same.
John has his hand, Alexa. John has
Sorry,
his
John
hand up.
disagrees.
Yeah, John, what's up?
Yeah, no, I don't know. What I was saying was move the affordable housing for seniors from 9 to 5, but then move all of the other ones down. They wouldn't move one from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my ears are working. Okay.
It's
So
mine that's wrong.
that's good. Okay, so what we're gonna do is vote right now on the motion to move number 9 to number 5, and everything else will fall into place below
Yeah.
that. Michael,
I'm sorry, Alex, can you just repeat the top 5? I'm sorry.
it's install
just that-
elevators. Number 1, 2, provide funded supportive housing. 3, maintain sewers. 4, traffic and
No, that's
pedestrian.
wrong list.
That's the original one.
Oh, you
No,
know,
no.
forget it. Heather, you're up. Sorry, I'm reading the old list.
The top 5 as it stands right now is maintenance of streets, maintenance and improvement of sewers, supportive housing at number 2, number 3, elevator installation at subways, number 4, pedestrian safety and traffic calming, and number 5, reconstruction of streets. Those are your top
Okay.
5.
Thank you, Heather. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's very helpful.
It's hard when you don't have a visual, and I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so are we ready to vote?
That was good. Thank
Great.
you.
Okay, Michael,
Nay.
What?
Anicia,
yes.
okay. Kavish,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Peter?
Yeah. Oh.
He said yes. I heard Peter say
Oh,
yes.
he did? Sorry, it's not coming through on mine, so.
Yes.
Miriam, no, Howie.
Yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Sheridan. Did he say yes? I think you just have to
Yes.
unmute yourself a little bit earlier because mine is, there's a little delay on my end. So,
Sorry, I said yes. Can you hear me now?
yes, you said yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. Alex,
Yes.
Latrice,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Keith,
I say yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Oded,
Yes.
Emmanuel, no, not no voting. No, he's not here. Prameet,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Jack, that's not here. Renee,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Sherry,
Yes.
Gladys,
Yes. Yes.
David,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jean,
No,
Teresa. I was not here, sorry. Martha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Alexa, yes. Joan,
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes.
Daniel. Okay, great. So that passed. So now we have an update, and we have a comment from Jean. Go ahead, Jean.
I'd like to make a proposal that we just switch, 7 and, excuse me, 7 and 6 position, which is moving parks back up and moving streets down.
Is there a second?
Second,
I have to start presenting pretty soon, so when I do, I have to, yeah, please.
Sorry, Ralph, I muted you. You're unmuted, but I muted you. So I'm sorry. We had a second, right?
Peter.
Yeah.
So can we just, can we go over because
Yeah, it would be this, it would be simply this. She wants to, Jean has proposed that we just simply take purchase of equipment to improve park maintenance, which is number 7 to number 6, would then just slide, that it would just switch places with reconstruction of streets. So the two is flipped. So equipment would go at number 6, reconstruct the streets would be number 7. So can we do it, just go straight to a vote?
Yep. Are those the updated numbers on the list? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we're switching the reconstruct streets and the purchasing of the equipment for parks. Michael,
Hey.
Anicia,
Yes.
Pavish,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Howie,
Yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Alex,
Yes.
Patrice,
No.
John,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Oded,
Yes.
Prameet,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Ralph, Jonathan,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Sherry, Gladys,
Yes.
David. David? I can't hear anything from David or from a lot of these people. So is everyone
Yes,
else?
yes, yes, yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes, and thank you.
Martha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Alexa, yes. Joan,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
Daniel.
Yes.
Great, motion passes. We have a new list. We
Okay.
have to vote on the whole list at some point, by the way.
Yeah. I just want to see if there's any other further discussion with any of the other priorities, if there's any more motions, because I am concerned about the time. It is 8:34 and we've got a whole chunk of else to get to, so I just want to make sure that there's nothing else up for discussion with the capital.
I'm going to call a vote on the whole list, yeah.
Yeah,
So I think we need a motion.
So could we, I'd like to make a motion to accept the capital budget priorities as is. If need be, I can read what we are, where we are, if necessary. But in the interest of time,
I second it.
I second it.
Do you want to just read the top 10, just the Cliff's notes? Just like
Indeed. Top 10. Number 1, sewers. Number 2, supportive housing. Number 3, elevators in the subways. Number 4, pedestrian safety and calming. Senior affordable housing is number 5. Number 6 is the gator for the park. 7, reconstruct streets. 8, ADA accessibility for all libraries in CB6. 9 is the preservation of the softball field. 10 is Rego Park Library.
fabulous. So we are voting on our budget priorities with the awareness and gratefulness to Heather and the board members and the community board chairs, community committee chairs who worked on this. So with that, we're going to call a vote. Okay, Michael.
Yes.
Anicia.
Yes.
Kavish.
Yes.
Peter.
Yes.
Howie. Howie. Heidi.
Yes.
Sheridan. Alex.
Yes.
Latrice.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
Keith.
I vote yes.
Gail.
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Bruce.
Yes.
Oded.
Yes.
Ramit.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Ralph. Ralph, we can't hear you anymore. I don't know what happened there. Jonathan.
Yes.
Kevin.
Yes.
You hear
Jack.
me now?
Here. Renee.
Yes.
Steve.
Yes.
Pat.
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
Tanya.
Yes.
Shari. Gladys.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Herb.
Yes.
Jean. Jean? Oh, I saw your lips move. You said yes, even though I didn't hear you. You were muted.
Yes.
You did say yes, I think. Okay, Martha.
Yes.
Okay. And Martha? Was that a yes from Martha too?
It was, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Susan?
Yes.
Alexa, yes. Joan?
Yes.
Edwin?
This might answer your question.
Yes.
According to
Daniel.
Wikipedia, Joseph Louis Thomas.
Okay, motion passes.
American singer.
Okay, great. Can we, next would be the expense priorities. So again, I'm going to go through them. Remember, with expense priorities, we can only have, I believe, 40-some priorities. So I'm going to read through the ones that we have. First is provide and expand Beacon programs, that's after-school programming. for middle school students, senior center funding, supportive housing services, Meals on Wheels, safety studies throughout the district, subway station and train cleanliness, organic recycling and composting, school crossing guards at number 8. Number 9 is local food pantries. Number 10 is mental health services for homebound seniors. Next is priority number 11, which is health department programs, for example, COVID vaccination programs. Number 12 is 3K for all. Number 13 is an aging in place programming. 14, forestry and tree planting. 15 is a temporary location for the Rego Park Annex. 16 would be the complete installation of security cameras in public schools. Career training for people with, there's a freaking typo, sorry about that. For career training and job placement for seniors and people with disabilities. Next is a city planning study. Please note this is the only budget priority that came from the Land Use Committee. It's an important one. 19 is a new priority. This is a priority from the fire department. You'll notice that in priorities 1 through 10, we have traffic studies. We have consolidated all of the traffic studies that were on the list you were provided previously. We've consolidated them all into one priority in order to make space for the singular priority that the FENY sent us last week. It is a concrete saw with batteries and so on. It's not a very expensive item, but they have requested this of every community board for the firehouses that sit in those communities. So that's where number 19 came from. I know that's new to your list. 20 is GPS for Accessoride. 21 is expanding bike share programs into the district. And then the last set, closed captioning for Community Board 6 is actually going to come off because Alexa just informed me today that we have it now. So 22 will go away. And everything will then move up.
Kind of.
And
like we're hopeful, but it's not here yet. So.
Okay. So then the next would be community workshops on bike and pedestrian safety. 24 is open streets projects, and 25 is snow removal, and 26 is web design and materials for our community board, for our website, and for different things that we do in the office. So that is our full expense priority list. So we'd like to take any questions and any motions with these. Let me stop sharing my screen. That would be helpful. Yeah. I think I did stop sharing. Okay.
I still see myself. I don't, maybe.
Yeah.
It's now a whole mirrors.
Does everyone see the regular?
No.
No.
I think.
Okay. So I don't think
you're still sharing.
Yeah.
Sharing his screen.
That's strange.
But in the meantime, we can also entertain questions. There we go.
Sorry. It didn't pop up for me at first. It was stuck. My apologies. I'm using a Chromebook, so it's kind of like busted. So any questions, any concerns? We know this is a big list. The things to keep in mind with expense projects is they are less expensive. I do believe that they do touch a lot more lives. They are very specific. And so we're hopeful that some of these projects that are on here now in a year will be off the list. So keep that in mind if you have any feedback. But I'm not seeing any raised hands. Oh, okay. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yep.
Heather, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I sure can.
All right, so I'm looking at the expense budget priorities and it says submit cap of 25 at the top. And according to this, we have 28. So if I'm understanding this correctly, that means we need to eliminate 3. Is that right?
Well, here's the situation. The 28, it isn't actually 28 now because we were able to consolidate all those studies. So you'll see, I think 3 different line items were those studies. So we were able to consolidate those into one. So right now, our number as we sit here today in this meeting is the golden number of 26. So Alexa and I and Frank need to get together about this closed captioning and see if we can move it off. If not, what we've been saying all along is that if things fall below 25, which that 26 seems to be the bottom priority, we would hold that and that when we get back to doing budget priorities in a year from now or 6 months from now, we would then revisit that. That would be one of the first things that we revisit before we look at new ones, because it is a holdover. So it would sort of put it in a parking lot, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Latrice? Because we don't want to lose these things, great ideas.
And we can totally remove the Zoom. I will make that call right now because we don't have it right now, and I actually meant to mention that earlier. It's a real fault that our software from the city doesn't offer that. It will be closed captions on the replay on YouTube, but in 2023, God help us if we don't have the closed captioning, because they told us it was going to be by tonight. So let's just say that we cannot put it on our priorities for 2023 in a year and a half from now. So let's remove that, then we're at an even 25. Jean and Kevin have their hands raised. So Jean first. Oh, and I see Heidi, it has a hand raised too. So we have Jean, Kevin, Heidi. Go ahead, Jean.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I would like to switch 14, which is forestry tree planting throughout the district. The way the weather is going, we're gonna need forestry for a lot more storms. Switch that up with, where the hell is it? Organic, number 7, organic recycling and composting. I'd just like to switch them in the order, that's all.
Is there a second to that motion?
No.
Going once? There's not a second to that
Seconds,
motion. Jean.
Odette seconds. I'm sorry, Odette seconds.
Who's that?
Seconds.
Odette seconds.
Okay, so we have forest number 14 moving to 7, just flip-flopping, Jean, or what?
Yes, just switching them, that's all.
Okay. Does anyone want to speak to that before we vote?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
Yeah, again, we've been running this weekly composting, and basically we're drawing over 200 people. So I really think that we need to try to put this as a priority in terms of leaving it at 7, leaving the top 10, because we've said that items the top 10 are the ones that get the more attention. So I speak against the motion.
Okay. Kevin, your hand was up, I believe.
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
No, there's no need to respond right now. You made a motion which is in favor of it, so we don't have to respond right now. But Kevin, did you was this about this item, Kevin, or was there something else?
No, I was going to make a separate motion.
Okay, so let's move back. So I think we'll just go to a vote then. So we are voting on switching number 14 with number 7. So not moving anything in between or after, but just making that an even 1-for-1 switch. So we're gonna go, I'm running out of paper to take these votes. I should have seen that coming. Okay, Michael.
Nay.
Anicia.
No.
Kavish.
No.
Peter.
No.
Miriam. Oh, right. Howie.
No.
Heidi.
No.
Sheridan. Alex.
No.
Latrice.
No.
John.
No.
Heather.
No.
Keith.
No.
Gail.
No.
Brendan.
No.
Bruce.
No.
Odette.
Yes.
Permeet. Mark.
No.
Ralph.
No.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Kevin.
No.
Renee.
No.
Steve.
Yeah, no.
Pat.
No.
Elizabeth.
Sorry, no.
Tanya.
No.
Sherry. Gladys.
No.
David.
Yes.
Herb,
Yes. Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Martha,
No.
Susan,
No.
Alexa, no. Joan,
No.
Edwin,
Yes.
Daniel.
No.
Okay, so the motion fails to pass. Up next is Kevin.
Thank you. So I'm not sure if the train and subway cleanliness and cleaning has been on the board's agenda before. It might have been, and we just want to keep it. But and I mean, this might be a long shot, but 3K for all as priority number 12. I think that just as a community, early childhood education, I think it's so important, and if we can bump it up into the top 10, I just want to make a motion. It might be a long shot, but the motion is to swap 3K for all for number 6, where on train cleanliness.
Second.
Okay. Does anyone want to speak to it before we vote? Okay, so we are voting on moving the providing and expanding no-cost early childhood education up to number 6, and just a flip-flop, Kevin, right?
Yeah, that's my motion.
Okay, and then the number 6 would be moved to number 12. Okay, from the top, Michael,
Nay.
Nicia,
Yes.
Kavish,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Howie,
Yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Sheridan, Alex,
Yes.
Latrice,
No.
John,
No.
Heather,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Gail,
No.
Brendan,
No.
Bruce, Bruce,
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oded,
Yes.
Emmanuel, Pramit,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay, are you voting yes? I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. Sorry, Ralph,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Pat,
No.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Shari, Gladys,
No.
David,
Yes.
Herb,
No.
Jean,
Yes.
Martha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Alexa, yes, Joan,
No.
Edwin,
Yes.
and Daniel.
Joseph
Yes.
Lewis Thomas. No.
If the yeses have it, yes, they do. So great, so those are switched. I think Heidi has a question or a comment or something.
Comment, and then after the comment, maybe a motion. First, I'd want to know currently Meals on Wheels. I don't remember. Heather, where is that on the list?
Meals on Wheels currently is number 4.
Okay, I'd like to move that up to number 1 and have everything come down. Meals on Wheels from the time of COVID has been providing meals for a tremendous number of people who prior to COVID didn't need it. We still have seniors who are unable to go shopping. Meals on Wheels has been covering it. This is an increasing population, and I think that this is a matter of life and death. for some people in the community, and God forbid they run out of money.
I second the motion that there hasn't been an increase for the meals in many years. So that cost
Okay,
affects the meals.
we just have to have the second. So does anyone want to speak against that, or we'll just bring it to a vote?
Can I just
John?
Yeah, I just wanted to raise one question. To raise it to number one would knock the Beacon program to number two. I know Beacon has been a very important program over the years, and the continued funding, it's a very specific one. Would it not be possibly the best idea to move Meals on Wheels to two, but maintain Beacon at number one? And Heidi, would you think that that's a reasonable compromise in this situation?
So that is a friendly amendment.
Yeah.
John, I love the Beacon program and understand the need for it, but I'm more concerned here. We're really affecting people's health. So I
Because
really
one
would
and two
prefer to keep it at I think it's a top priority with the population and with the pandemic that we're still not out of.
Okay, so she does not accept that friendly amendment, or and where the motion still stands. So we'll go ahead and vote right now. Michael. Heather, did you have something to add? I'm sorry.
I just think we need to also be cognizant of conflicts of interest that we may have if folks that are making motions and so on that are tied to organizations that do provide supportive housing, for example, services and stuff, that when we're supporting so on and so forth, that we are being cognizant of that and that we're making our conflicts known, just so it's clear. Because I want this stuff to be above board. This is so important.
Thank you for that. David, your hand is raised.
Yes, I work case management. We provide Meals on Wheels as one of the services. I will not financially benefit from this motion, but I do work setting up Meals on Wheels in the area, just to be above board.
Okay, thanks, David. And okay, so we're going to continue with the vote. Michael.
Nay.
Anicia.
Yes.
Kavish.
No.
Peter.
No.
Howie.
No.
Heidi.
Yes.
Sheridan. Was that yes, Sheridan? I just hear it's, so I think it's it's not an O, so we're gonna go with that. Alex.
No.
Latrice.
Yes.
John.
No.
Heather.
No.
Keith.
I vote no.
Gail.
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Bruce.
No.
Oded.
Yes.
Emmanuel. Oh, he's not. Sorry. Prameet.
Yes.
Mark.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Kevin.
No.
Renee.
Yes.
Steve. Steve.
No.
Pat.
Yes.
Elizabeth.
No.
Tanya.
Yes.
Gladys.
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Is Shari still here and just not able to speak?
I'm
so
here.
Shari. Oh, okay. I have not heard you in a very long time. Shari.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry about that. Herb.
Yes.
Jean.
Yes.
Martha.
Yes.
Susan.
Yes.
Alexa, no. Joan.
Yes.
Edwin.
Yes.
Daniel.
Yes.
Okay, I think the yeses have it. Christine, if you want to just take a moment to tally. And then we will proceed accordingly. Christine, you have?
Yeah,
no-
the yeses.
The yeses have it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have, so that moves Meals on Wheels to number 1 and everything down from there. And that is where we stand. Does anyone have anything to say? It is 8:58. That's what I'm gonna say.
I like that.
May I move to accept the list as amended?
Yes.
Capital
I
list
second
as
it.
amended.
Seconded.
Second.
Who's second? We had 1 second first. Who was the first second?
Me, Jean.
Jean, great. Okay, with that, and with the wisdom of all of us behind this vote, we will vote on accepting the expense budget priorities as written, as amended. Michael,
Did we lose him?
Michael, drum roll please. Michael, are you there? This is not the way I wanted to start with this vote.
He's muted.
Well, I see he has a little caution sign, but Michael, we'll loop back to you. Anicia,
Yes.
Kavish. Kavish?
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Howie,
Yes.
Heidi,
Yes.
Sheridan, Alex.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I got it. Latrice,
Yes.
John,
Yes on all, except I must abstain on number 3, supportive housing expense, because my agency funds that program.
okay, thank you for that. Heather,
Yes.
Keith,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Brendan,
Yes.
Bruce,
Yes.
Oded, Permeet,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Ralph,
Yes.
Jonathan,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
Jack, no, Renee,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Elizabeth,
Yes.
Tanya,
Yes.
Sherry. Sherry? Now I know you're there, but I
Yes.
cannot. Okay, yes. Gladys,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Herb,
Yes.
Jean,
Yes.
Teresa, no. Martha,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Alexa, yes. Joan,
Yes.
Edwin,
Yes.
Daniel,
Yes.
great. Michael Arcadi, are you back?
I'm back, having connectivity issues. Yes.
You're yes. Okay, great. And Odette, are you back? Okay, well, either way, it passes. Congratulations, everyone. Congratulations to Heather, to everyone that worked on this. This was a multi-month arc of a project that Heather led us through, and we're just so grateful for all the work that you did, Heather, and all the committee chairs, the meetings that you guys had in committee, the committee members, the office staff, Frank, everyone, thank you so much. I'm forever grateful. And that was a good lesson in Robert's rules. Always down for a refresher. Okay, we're going into committee reports. Let's keep it super brief. Everyone, please, it's already 9:02. This stuff is important. I don't want to say that it's not important, but let's just kind of try to wrap it up well before we, so that we can move on. I don't know why I can't scroll here. Okay. Oh, Tanya, did you have something to say right now?
No.
Oh, okay. That was your hand raised. I'm going to lower it. Okay. So we are going to move on to Heather again in her other role. She's putting on her hat. Oh, no, it's Bruce.
Nope.
It's Bruce.
It's Bruce.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Bruce, co-chair of the
Education, Library, and Youth Committee meeting. We had a meeting on October 7th, last Thursday. We went through our own capital and expense budget items, which I'm sure has been fully covered. Two things that came up that were not really talked about tonight. Councilmember Kozlowitz allocated a large sum of money for
the North Forest Park Library for more money than just renovations. I think she's trying to get funding to start the process of building a new library in North Forest Park. And in addition to that, and we spoke a lot about that and how we might move that along so it doesn't take 30 years to build a North Forest Park Library, the way it took 30 years to be building a Regal Park Library. And we talked a little about, we talked a little about, I'm sorry, Ari Feldman, who's our citizen member, whose letter we read earlier tonight at the meeting. We discussed the issues he raised in his letter. And we also discussed Kevin Lee's concerns about 3K that he also discussed earlier tonight. I can't thank Heather enough for everything she's done for this committee and for the budget committee this summer. That's a lot of work, and I really appreciate it. I'm sure we all do too. Thanks a lot.
Great, thanks, Bruce. Up next, we have Consumer Affairs, Economic Development, and Small Business Committee report from Chair Elizabeth Newton. And I just want to remind everyone that before this meeting, the second page of the agenda does have everything listed. So if it's in front of you, that's helpful to just go through and know, where they are and what their names are. So with that, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Okay, hello, everybody. We have 3 new liquor license applications. One is with Lime and Salt Bar Restaurant located at 98-102 Queens Boulevard in Forest Hills. And that will be a sit down and take out Mexican restaurant with a full liquor license with 6 tables seating 24 people in total with 5 bar stools. And they'll be open 7 days a week from 12 to 10 and Monday through Wednesday, and 12 to noon, 12 to 12 a.m. Thursday through Sunday. And they are located at, I think I said it already, 98-102 Queens Boulevard. The second new liquor application is the Cantu Peruvian Cuisine at 10507 Metropolitan Avenue here in Forest Hills. It's Peruvian cuisine, and they have been opened for some time at 7417 Metropolitan Avenue in Middle Village since 2017. However, they are moving to Forest Hills at 10507 Metropolitan Avenue. So it's a new application in that the liquor license that they had in Middle Village, they cannot use in Forest Hills, so they have applied for a new liquor license. The last new application is the Taste of Tashi Ken, located at 101-15 Queens Boulevard. And the partner manager at Kazan Magul restaurant located at 9713 Queens Boulevard in Regal Park is now opening up the Taste of Tash Ken. We have 6 renewals. We're all familiar with them. They've been in the community for quite some time. El Pollo Inco Peru at 11220 Queens Boulevard, 1 East Ocean Palace, 11309 Queens Boulevard, Forest Hills Station House, 10611 71st Avenue, Forest Hills, Mai Tai Tha doing business as 9 Thai at 11070 Queens Boulevard, Star of Siam Thai Kitchen, 10318 Metropolitan Avenue, Manor Oktoberfest, 7311 Yellowstone Boulevard. So the committee voted, all committee members voted yes, except for 1 who was absent. On the new applications, all committee members voted as to the renewals, yes, except for we have 1 abstention to 1 East Ocean Palace. My report is complete.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Okay, so we're going to go down and vote. We'll do, you know what, we're just going to do a hand vote. Not a hand vote, but like everyone vote at the same time. I'm just going to say first for the new ones and then for the renewals. Keep yourselves unmuted.
Alexa, Pat has a question.
Oh, thank you. Pat, go ahead.
I thought the address for 10115 Queens Boulevard, isn't that the address for Sticks Restaurant?
Say that again. What was the address? 101?
Right, the Taste of Tashkent, 10115 Queens Boulevard. That's
Yep,
the
it is. It does. I just looked it up and it is Sticks. But
Okay,
Sticks is
so
still
yeah.
business, right? Maybe they're just maybe it's a change of name.
Oh, I don't have that information. Christine, do you have that information? Is it just a change of name? Because I don't have that information at all.
And Sticks is pretty big.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading the actual liquor license, and it's saying that they're transferring the liquor license from Sticks to Taste of Tashkent.
Okay, so there's
So
the
they're
answer,
changing
Pat.
over.
Yeah, they're changing their name. Okay.
They keep the same menu because.
Pat, did that answer your question?
Thank you very much.
Great.
Okay. Okay.
So everyone unmute yourselves. We're going to take right now, all in favor of voting in favor of the 3 new liquor licenses, say aye.
Aye.
Great. Is anyone against one of or more of them? Great. That worked. Now we're going to do the same thing for the renewals. For these 6 renewals, everyone unmute. Everyone in favor of approving these 6 renewal liquor licenses, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone not in favor or opposed?
Alexa, it's Erin. I have to abstain from the East Ocean. That's what Liz said earlier.
One Ocean? Okay, one
Yeah.
East Ocean.
Yeah.
East Ocean,
Okay.
I have to abstain.
But
Yeah.
you're yes for everything else?
But yes for everything else, yes.
Okay, is anyone no for anything? Look at that. Okay, fabulous. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And we have a Aging, Social Services, Disabilities Committee report from co-chair Ralph Leonard.
Okay, I will make this super short because I'm fatigued. I know you are. So, Aging, Social Services, and Disabilities has been very active. We met last night and we segued from being focused on North, naturally occurring retirement communities, to a focus on the survey. We did an empirical survey that was spearheaded by Seth and Hoffman, and we've gotten a total of 92 responses. 62 of those responses are from seniors who live within the confines of Forest Hills and Regal Park, CB6. We're looking to continue, and we have marshaled several volunteers to do tabling and go to several other places where we can target seniors, and our target number is to have approximately at least 100 full responses of individuals who live in CB6. Moving on, we have agreed that we are going to be meeting the second Monday of every month up into the year 22, and next month we have a presentation on redistricting. We seems like it was ages ago. We started earlier this evening on redistricting. That's very, very important for the obvious reasons, and we're going to look to educate the public on redistricting and looking with an emphasis on how it impacts our community board, our area, and in particular how the whole process works. Moving on into the following month, which puts us into December, we're looking to do a presentation in which we look at intergenerational, I can't speak anymore, it's so late, intergenerational relating to the COVID, the specter of COVID. We'd like to have people who represent young individuals young adults versus seniors and discuss issues such as masking, vaccine, social distancing, and for younger people, dating and socializing, and for older people, the possibility of loneliness and how one manages with that. Moving on into 22, early 22, we are looking to put together a series on wealth accretion, wealth management. The New York City Department of Finance has a group that specializes in educating seniors and the public on things that are benefits that are available to them that they might not be aware of. So that pretty much sums it up. And you're all welcome, and I encourage you to participate and volunteer.
Thank you, Ralph. And as soon as the committee has the schedule, what the dates are and what the presentations are, let us know, and we'll get them up to our members. Okay, so that is it for our committee reports. We're going to open it up to first board members, then legislative representatives. I'm going to ask everyone to keep it to between 2 and 3 minutes if possible, because it's already 9:15 and we've been going for close to a long time. So Mark, I'm going to have you back to just keeping time. I think that would be helpful today. So we have Anicia, then Pat. There were a lot of beeps, but now I only see those two.
Jessica, I want to speak. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's really best if everyone that wants to speak uses the raise hand function, because everyone goes
on mine. I'm sorry.
Okay, but Heidi, do you know where that is? It would be.
I don't.
So, okay, we have Anicia, Pat, the other Alexa, which is Mark, then Howie, and then Heidi. Okay, so Anicia, you're up.
Hi. Last month, we co-sponsored with the Donovan Richard Queens Civic Engagement Committee for the COVID-19 booster shots town hall, and we had 700 viewers. I just want to inform you that.
Wow.
Amazing.
Nice.
Amazing. Great job on that. Thank you for being involved in that. Pat.
Last month I talked about how you have to make reservations with Accessoride in order for eligibility. I just want to talk very briefly about what happened last Friday for my Accessoride disability evaluation. And they picked me up on time in Queens, and we went the 1 hour and 45-minute ride to the middle of Staten Island, which is where I was evaluated. That went quickly, but that place leaves a lot to be desired. Imagine chairs without arms so that disabled people couldn't get up from them. Imagine a man who is very large. A man who is very large, because the chairs are not wide enough, having to sit on 2 chairs. The bathroom was clean, but the bar to get up for assistance was too far away. And then the front staff was very nice. And then my pickup time was for 2:44 in the afternoon, at which point I went outside and waited and waited and waited. And the person who staffed the front desk was notified that I was still waiting. And since they were getting ready to close, I went back inside, and that was about 3:45. Remember, my pickup time was 2:45. Generally, Accessoride says if you're not picked up within a half hour, that's when you should start calling them. I waited on the phone to speak to somebody at Accessoride for them to pick up the phone using option number 5, which is same day ride, 27 minutes. before anybody got on the phone. I went upstairs, spoke to the person at the front desk, told her what was going on. She told me that I was to be picked up by approximately 4:05. So I rushed back downstairs again, at which point nobody was available. Only one person was picked up, and that was the 3 o'clock person. Then I was finally picked up by 4:30 something. My driver was supposed to pick me up at 2:44, as he said, but his dispatcher gave him 4 rides, which took him.
I'm sorry, you got about another half a minute till 3 minutes.
Which took him almost an hour and a half. Then I finally got home close to 6:30. Remember, my pickup time was 2:44. This is because the Woodhaven Boulevard Queens Center is closed. Thank you.
Yes, that experience. Thank you for telling us about it, and hopefully we can, with awareness, get something done. Mark, were you going to talk about the David Prize or something else?
No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about something else. Okay, because I know.
Great.
So I'll talk
Yeah,
about something else. Not
Thank
the David Prize. Okay.
Great.
I just wanted to remind people that we have an election coming up in a couple of weeks, and there's going to be 5 ballot proposals on the ballot, and just point that out to people because I don't think there's been a lot of information out there about that. So everybody's going to be getting in the mail a package explaining these 5 ballot things, and I'm just encouraging people to please read the package carefully because one pertains to redistricting, one pertains to environmental rights, a third pertains to same-day registration, a fourth pertains to no excuse absentee voting, and a fifth pertains to civil courts limits. And again, everybody should be receiving the announcements, and please read them carefully. And just to let people know, to get on the ballot, they have to go through 2 successive legislative sessions. So these pieces have been well reviewed by the legislature. So again, just please read, and when you vote, please flip your ballot because I think these ballot proposals will be on this side of the ballot. Okay, thank you very much.
Great. Thanks, Mark. So up next week, I know I'm just going to go through the queue. It's Howie, Heidi, Jean, John, Steve. So I want to hear from you all, but please try to keep it as brief as possible. Howie, go ahead.
Good, I have a question for Mike Frank was saying about November 30th for the 9881 Queens Boulevard meeting. I want to go to. How do I reply?
You'll get it. Yeah, we'll help you with that. You'll get I believe you're on that committee, so you'll get a link, and we'll talk about that offline. Okay, we'll make sure you're there.
Okay. Is Peter on that one, on that committee? I just want to know.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll speak to Peter about it on the phone. Thank you.
Great. Okay, great. Thanks. Heidi.
I just want to make sure everybody knows next week, Wednesday on Zoom, we are having our precinct council meeting. Everyone is invited. RSVP to council112@yahoo.com. And if you have questions for the captain, council112@yahoo. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Heidi. Jean.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, I haven't heard anybody before me. Okay, I just want to tell everybody I had very exciting 2 weeks with parks. On October 29th, Wednesday, I went to my first park budget meeting and it was fantastic. I learned so much information. Can't wait to have my meeting to share this with everybody. During the meeting, one of the things that came up is that apparently we've gotten a lot of complaints over at some of the parks. Our average has gone up a little bit, so we want to talk about complaints that's going on. Then I found out that there was a meeting on one of the complaints with the commissioner at the McDonald Park. We were there last Saturday, and we were there for an hour and a half. It was a fantastic meeting with the commissioner. All the parks people were there going over all the problems and situations that's going on at that park, but I'll share it with the committee in the near future. Again, the parks are open. Please go, get some fresh air, enjoy yourself, and have a good winter. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Jean. John and then Steve. Go ahead, John.
Yes, thank you. First, I'd like to thank Pat for raising some of the concerns about accessoride. I wasn't going to, but having done it, I think I need to. I think we're dealing with, in looking at accessoride, not just an agency that has problems, but an agency that really is, I believe, in systematic crisis. It has become extremely dysfunctional. I've had a couple of personal issues. I did raise it in complaints. I even put a piece on YouTube, on Facebook on it, where last week I basically had to cancel a doctor's appointment because not only did the van not show, but there were serious discrepancies between the information that I had received on the app, which showed it coming. And then when I looked at it, the fact of the matter was that the driver who was supposed to be there did not show up, and there wasn't even a van in existence. Also, one of the I could very easily have missed tonight's meeting because of a real dysfunction in getting me back from another meeting. I was in the Bronx. I could have been held up there. This is more. It's more than just a poorly functioning agency. I think it's an agency that is in serious dysfunction, and I think it's important that the board, other boards, the elected officials, particularly the state elected officials in dealing with the MTA, really address this. This is a serious matter. It's not getting better, it's getting worse. And I just really needed to bring that to the board's attention.
Thank you. And maybe we could talk offline. Maybe John and Pat could think about what our next steps can be, maybe with, yeah, we'll think about it.
Sure.
And I'm sorry if you had to experience that. It shouldn't be like that. And Steve.
Yeah, I just wanted to wish everyone, pagans, Wiccans, and followers of the old ways alike, a happy Samhain and fall solstice. Happy harvest, everybody.
Thank you, Steve. Happy harvest. Okay, so with that, we will move on to the elected representatives, and I'll read the queue for that as well. So we have Michael Carlier from Assembly Member Hevesy's office, then Amparita Rosero, sorry, from Queensborough President's office, Michael Cohen from Councilmember Koslowitz's office, Sean McCabe from Senator Adaba's office, and Sandra Ung from Congresswoman Grace Meng's office. So I will also ask you to keep it to 2 to 3 minutes. And if there's anything else that you didn't have an opportunity to share in that time, please email it to the board and it will be distributed to us. So with that, we have Michael, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. First and foremost, the Assemblyman, he is initiated a park cleanup series around the district. Jean alluded to it earlier, but we did have a cleanup in McDonald Park last Saturday. We thank the Parks Department and the Commissioner, Michael Dockett, for their attendance. We also want to thank the Friends of McDonald Park as well as the Color of Justice for helping get some volunteers out to clean our local parks. That was the first stop. We have several more planned throughout the next 30 days. Starting next Saturday, we're going to be in Mcfadden Park in Ridgewood. That's out of this community board, but it's within our district. The Sunday after that, the 24th, we're going to be at Austin Playground in Forest Hills. November 6th, in Saturday, we're going to be at Yellowstone Park in Forest Hills. And finally, November 14th, we're going to be at Painter's Playground in Regal Park. So if anyone's interested in volunteering or amplifying, feel free to reach out to our office. Also, we are still doing mask and PPE giveaways. So if anyone's interested in that, of course, unfortunately, we're still not through this pandemic. So we want to make sure folks have the supplies that they need to get by. You can call our office to schedule a pickup of masks or sanitizer if you'd like at 718-263-5595. And also, just as a reminder, Election Day is November 2nd. If you need assistance in acquiring an absentee ballot or need more information about your early voting site, feel free to call our office about that as well. And that's basically it. Thank you all for hosting this meeting tonight.
Thanks, Michael. Peter, do you have a quick question?
Just real quick, Michael, just wonder if you can bring back to the Assemblyman what you heard tonight regarding Access-a-Ride.
Yes.
We really need to find a way to intervene and shake that agency up.
Yeah,
And it is a
actually,
state
yeah, I
agency,
did
so.
neglect to note that. That's my apologies, but I will absolutely forward that concern to the Assemblyman. We've dealt with Access-a-Ride before. Of course, the COVID pandemic has exacerbated those issues, especially in terms of the NTA and budgeting concerns. Access-a-Ride has been no different, but just for John and Pat and the CB, I'm absolutely welcome to be part of that conversation offline when we follow up from this meeting tonight. So
thanks, Michael.
Thank you. Up next, we have Amparito, excuse me, Rosero.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just have a few announcements. The borough president is going to be holding a few events. Tomorrow, October 14th, he will be holding the Italian American Month celebration at the Helen Marshall Cultural Center beginning at 5:30. Proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test must be presented at registration. This event is also co-sponsored by St. John's University, Italian Heritage and Cultural Committee, New York State Senator Joseph Adabo, Councilmember Paul Vallone, Councilmember Jim Gennaro, and Councilmember Eric Ulrich. Also, regarding redistricting, he will be holding a town hall, which will be virtual, on October 18th at 5:30 p.m. Please RSVP to queensbp.org. That's very important as well. And the last one, he will hold a regional town hall on October 19th, and that will take place at your college at 6:30 p.m. Any other question, or if you'd like more information, visit queensbp.org. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Great, thank you for being here. Michael Cohen from Councilmember Koskowitz's office.
Yes, good evening, board members. I have some really great news. I think you'll all agree it's great news. Some of you youngins may not remember the big dispute around the late 60s, early 70s for this site commonly known as the Forest Hills Co-op. Part of the compromise at that time was that in 40 years, the deed of the property would be conveyed from HUD to the residents. Well, the deed was conveyed, and the problem was the residents did not have enough operating income to maintain their property. And it was a very difficult situation. And the situation was resolved by a plan to erect 3 new structures. Some of the income from those structures will contribute to the operating income of the existing 3 structures. I think all the board members have seen 2 of the buildings look like they're just about complete. Now for the good news. Phipps Housing, a not-for-profit, is the entity that's coordinating the construction and the financing. Councilwoman Koslowitz was able to secure a 40-year property tax abatement for the site. And the Herculean efforts of your past chairman, Joseph Hennessy, has left us with a lot of affordable housing at that site, and really attractive affordable housing. And I'm going to give you an example. There are 267 units. I'd say about 25% of the units are at 50% AMI. Another 25% are about 70% AMI. What does that mean? On the 50% AMI, a studio and a household has to have a minimum amount of income, and there's a maximum limit on income. But that minimum
Michael,
maximum.
sorry, you got about another half a minute till 3.
is $27,000 to $47,000. And that studio will rent for $738. There are 1 bedrooms, there are 3 bedrooms. A 3-bedroom income range, $47,000 to $103,000. That rental will be $1,274. And if you'll indulge me for another 60 seconds to say that the application period is open. It will close November 16th. I will transmit to CB6 tomorrow the information necessary for people to know how to apply. Occupancy is projected for February of 2022. When the 3rd building comes online, there'll be more affordable units being made available. I'm smiling now. 50% of the units are set aside for residents of Community Board 6. So I'm all smiles over that, and very happy to relate that information to the board.
Thank you so much, Michael, for sharing that, and please get the information over to us. And up next, we have Sean McCabe from Senator Adabo's office.
How you doing, everybody? Just want to introduce myself. I'm new to the team. I just started working last week. Aside from handling regular constituent issues, I am a Army combat veteran, so I'll be mainly focusing as Joe's veteran liaison. If you have any veterans who need some help, please have them contact me. Additionally, the senator has a bunch of events coming up in the near future that he'd like you to know about. Thursday, October 21st from 5:30 to 7. He'll be holding an event, Java with Joe, at Esquire Diner down here on Cross Bay Boulevard in Ozone Park. There's also a virtual 3-day job fair with Resorts World Casino, Tuesday, October 26th through Thursday, October 28th, between the hours of 10 and 2. And finally, at the beginning of November, November 2nd, there will be a free mammogram screening with the American Italian Cancer Foundation. And that's going to be, like I said, November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And that will be at the Senator's main office in Howard Beach, 150-52 102nd Street in Howard Beach. Hope everybody had a good Columbus Day, and can't wait to look forward to working with you in the future.
Yeah, just
Great.
I just want to have.
You're welcome. I think, Mark, you have a very brief.
Yeah, I just want to reinforce that Peter asked the representative, asked Michael for the assemblyman, and I also want to relay. Can you please ask the senator to also work with us in terms of accessory? As you've heard tonight, there's lots of issues with accessory that we really need to work with. So we look forward to also working with the senator as well.
Yes, sir. I was listening to what you had to say about that issue. I've been taking notes. I'm going to bring it to his attention first thing in the morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Sandra Ung from Congresswoman Grace Meng's office. Maybe is she still here? I wouldn't blame her. It's a long meeting. I
think she's done.
She's here.
Okay. Well, it was nice to know she was here for a moment. I just wanted to also mention that the DFTA My Ride application is still open, I think, for another week, and it was extended, and Queens Community Board 6 is winning, not like it's a contest, but is anything not a contest. In applications, we've gotten so many applications from our district, so that means that there's a real high need here, and that's why we were chosen as a pilot district. But please continue to get the word out, and thank you to all of you that have already kind of spread the word. So it's been so long, but such a pleasure. We did so much tonight, and with that, is there a motion?
Yes.
Yes.
What is that motion?
Second, third, fourth.
No one said a motion. I just asked for one, but
Move to adjourn.
Yes, motion to adjourn.
okay,
Have a
great.
good night.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Be well, be safe.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.